Whitney just jumped out of the way. So there's an opposite one over there as well. These are just little diaphragms. So you put your stethoscope on here, and you have these old school cartridges from way back. It goes into here. I think it just fits in one way. Like that. So this one is basic heart sounds. There's an on switch. Just click on. And then this is the little volume dial. Okay, so if you can't hear it, just turn it up. And then the numbers on here correspond to what you just punched on the pad. Okay, so on the worksheet, there's different things to look for. So this is basic heart sounds. And then there's basic murmurs. And so these are just fancy terms. For example, holosystolic, late systolic, holodiastolic, and so on and so forth. This is way above and beyond what you have to know. That was not video. But what you'll have here is a basic murmurs card. Again, this is way above and beyond what you're supposed to know. But it is kind of cool to see what the different ones are. On your worksheet, on the back, it'll have what lub and dub are. And those are just your basic 2 beats. Sometimes you'll hear a third one, which they differentiate as S3 or S4. So lub is S1, dub is S2, and then S3 and S4 are those extra sounds that you might hear. And it all depends on whether it happens during the systolic phase or the diastolic phase. Did you guys talk about systolic and diastolic in EMR?
Okay.
Okay. So on your worksheet, it'll describe what technically is happening with those first 2 sounds, S1 and S2. The goal for this with the heart murmurs is to listen for what S3 and S4 could potentially sound like, and there's many different variations of that. Okay. So that's the first thing, your basic heart murmurs. It is a good idea just to listen to the basic heart sounds of what some of the normal sounds sound like. And then the third thing are the breath sounds. Now, the breath sounds, there are some normal ones, which is the first 4 on this list. Okay, so those are normal. It all depends on where you put your stethoscope. It's going to sound a little bit differently, right? So when you put your stethoscope up here and the person is breathing, it's going to sound significantly different if you put it down by the bases. Okay, and that's what this describes. The other ones are examples of breath sounds due to pathology. So abnormal breath sounds. Okay, so the idea is, number 1, is to be familiar with all the different heart sounds and breath sounds. So that's the first step. Okay, so there's 2 diaphragms here and 3 over there. So let's have U4 go over there and U3 over here. Once we're done that, so we'll do that for about maybe 20 minutes for heart sounds and 20 minutes for breath sounds. There is some spots on the table you could potentially fill out with the sounds, and if you're having trouble filling that out, we can chat about that. And then the next thing we'll do is we'll actually look at landmarking on each other. Okay, so where exactly do you put your bulb? What intercostal spaces are we looking at? Okay, so let's spend about 20 minutes for heart sounds, 20 minutes for breath sounds, and then we're going to spend a big chunk on the auscultation, because there's about maybe 6 for the lungs on either side, at least, so 12, and then 4 for the heart. It's about 16 spots in the front, and then there's another 6 and 6, 12 in the back. Okay, so we'll spend more time doing that. And then we'll take a little bit of a break, and then we'll do some snares on the bigger mannequins. We'll set it up so that you have to pick up heart rate, respiration rate, blood pressure, along with any weird sounds based on what you find with this. Okay. With the second one, auscultation, if you find something on each other, then let us know. If something sounds a little strange, then we can all check it out. Brita did find someone in yesterday's class that did have a benign murmur. So, yeah, it's kind of cool. So we'll see what happens. Okay, so let's do heart sounds and breath sounds first. And then I'll call you guys back in about 20 minutes to switch over to, heart sounds first and then breath sounds next.
Dennis, I completely forgot what we were doing today. Do you want me to run my res and grab my stethoscope? Yeah.
No, unless you guys don't mind sharing. If it's an ear thing.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it's up to them. I mean, you can ask. Otherwise, I was going to say there might be some.
So heart sounds first. Yeah.
Or that's up to you. So you can ask them first, and then you can run
Other way to see.